welcome to the Miami Minute, where we cover my favorite team, the Miami Dolphins. In this episode, we're going to be going over who the Dolphins have signed and re-signed thus far in this season. So I'm taking all of these signings from dolphinstalk.com. I am a contributor for this website, and I am also, somebody who just loves the Dolphins, loves the work that all the other writers are doing on Dolphins Talk. Very talented group of writers there. So let's start off with the Dolphins re-signing Tyrell Dodson to a 2-year, $8.25 million deal. So the linebacker should provide a lot of depth and compete for a starting role with the Dolphins this season. He started 3 games last season, played in 8 games, and had 36 tackles as well as 3 interceptions. So a solid signing for a player who has a good amount of upside there. Next, probably the signing I'm most excited for is the Dolphins signing wide receiver Nick Westbrook Akini. I hope I am pronouncing his name right. I will certainly learn it by opening day, I'm sure. So it's a 2-year, $6.5 million deal with $3.2 million guaranteed. So this last season, he had 9 touchdowns, which was a career high, and he had 32 receptions for 497 yards. He's 6'2", so this is big, not just because he's tall. That's like not a pun or a joke or anyways, but the Dolphins have 2 premier wide receivers in Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. They are short, very fast, but also short for the NFL. So he will add a new dimension to the receiving game as the third receiver, something that defenses will have to adjust to. And I'm very excited to see what Mike McDaniel can do in his mad scientist brain with him as a third wide receiver. So again, most excited for that. The Dolphins obviously did not sign Javon Holland. He went to the Giants, so they agreed to a 1-year, $2.5 million deal with former Jets safety Aston Davis. So Davis, he has 175 career tackles, 8 interceptions, and he played in 15 games with the Jets last season. They needed to sign somebody. I think I still believe Javon Holland has probably higher upside, but last season, really not that good. And then they didn't want to pay the price. So hopefully Davis will be able to step up there. Next, the re-signed linebacker Quentin Bell to a 1-year, $1.5 million deal. So he should be a good depth pass rusher / linebacker for the Dolphins. He played sparingly, but he did catch my eye a little bit last season. So I'm excited to see what he brings to the table next year. They also re-signed safety Elijah Campbell to 1-year, $1.9 million deal. Again, Elijah Campbell, perhaps not the greatest safety, but they do need depth here in the absence of Javon Holland. So, like the move, and I'm interested to see how he'll be used going forward. And will he compete with Davis for a starting role, or will he be the backup? That remains to be seen. But, good signing, good depth for the Dolphins there. Then they also signed Ifitu Melifonwu. I am so sorry that I certainly butchered that name, but he is a safety with the Detroit Lions, now with the Miami Dolphins. So I think that this is a solid signing. Obviously, he had some injury problems last year, but he has 2 interceptions and 72 career tackles in his career. He was drafted from Syracuse in 2021. And again, as many bodies, as much depth as they can put in safety to replace Javon Holland, I am all for. Next, the Dolphins signed offensive tackle Larry Borom from the Chicago Bears. So he is going to come in and, well, he may not be like a standout great offensive lineman. I will defend the Dolphins signing anybody for offensive line because they were bad the last few years. So anyone who can come in here and help out, I am all for. Speaking of, they signed James Daniels on a 3-year, $24 million contract with 10.735 guaranteed. So he was with the Steelers last year, originally drafted by the Bears. And I mean, he has some injury history, obviously, uh, tearing his Achilles in 2024, but hopefully he'll be able to bounce back. And again, bodies, that's what we need. We need people to come in and compete and try to help this offensive line succeed. Finally, and certainly most controversially, the Dolphins addressed their backup situation. I wrote a blog on Dolphins Talk, kind of asking to have Mac Jones be the backup. And we would get a former AFC East quarterback, but not the one that I wanted. So they signed Zach Wilson, former Jets quarterback, and then he was with the Broncos last season. Ooh, former second overall pick. You know, it's a 1-year deal for $6 million, 12 and 21 record, and 57% completion percentage. I don't like this at all. My guess is that Mike McDaniel believes that he can fix him. He looks at Zach Wilson, he sees the talent, and he just thinks, I can fix him. But this is a 1-year deal, so we'll see if he will even have the chance to play. Personally, I hope not, but we'll see. So those are the signings thus far. I'm sure there will be more. But if you're a Dolphins fan, what do you think of all these signings? What's your favorite? What's your least favorite? Are you in agreement with me that Zach Wilson was kind of interesting to potentially bad choice? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.